Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope y'all are doing well today. I'm repeating this video because I actually had done it earlier, but there was just way too much noise, rustling going on with the mic. So I decided to talk about this in another environment that's a little more calm. And so the first thing that I want to say is that this video does not apply to everybody. It does not apply to every person. It does not apply to every scenario and to every man. The circumstances that I'm going to talk about is there are individuals who it does not apply to. So when you listen, do not listen thinking, oh, she's talking about me. Oh, no, there are millions of people who watch YouTube, probably maybe a few, or as my video gets around, a couple hundred, or depending, okay, will hear this, and it does not apply to everybody. And I always feel like sometimes people normally click on video that applies to them, or at least to somebody they know. So it's either a video that applies to you or to someone you know. So either way, you can say, oh, this is not for me. I know people like this, or this is me and I'm offended. Either way, just understand I'm not speaking directly to you. So in the Bible, it says, if the enemy can come in and bind the strong man, then they can plunder his house. The strong man can be plundered, can be bound, captured. Then it's easy to pretty much take the spoils and destroy his house. And more so these days, the men, in my opinion, are out of position. Men today are completely different from men years ago. Men in Western civilizations, I can say specifically for the United States, not all of them, but there's a significant amount of the men who are very different from other men. These men are kind of in a place where they want to be protected rather than being the protector. They want to be provided for more so than being the provider. They are not at the forefront unless it's for their own convenience. And so they're very comfortable having women provide for them. They're very comfortable living with a woman, utilizing her things, taking her money, spending her money while keeping his, or by doing the bare minimum. And there are many things that can produce this type of man. A lot of things has to do with how they were brought up, nature versus nurture, all these different things, being lazy, not doing well in life, or there are men that they are doing well in their life, but they want to spend your money. These type of men are not always without their own place or without their own money, but they are just selfish. They are just have a mind where they only focus on themselves. What can I get out of you? What can you give to me? And they prize themselves above all else. Sometimes, ladies, you have to look out for the other ones who they're looking to be in your place. They're looking to stay with you. They're looking to live with you. Or you may end up going to their place, but you find they're putting a lot of the weight of the responsibilities of mortgage or whatever it may be, rent. They're putting that mostly on you to pay. And it's just a very imbalanced situation. Men today are changing. They're a lot more, it seems like they're more like children than men. Their reasoning, their mindset is very different. How they deal with situation, avoiding situations that may be hard to discuss, jumping from woman to woman when they are upset rather than processing, dealing with, and trying to work something out. They would rather run to another woman either for counsel or run to their friends who think just like them, or avoid it altogether. They are leaving the rearing of the children mostly to the women. They don't feel like they need to be involved in anything. And of course, you have those that are comfortable making children, spreading and sowing their seeds without being responsible, or putting themselves in such a position, being so careless and making countless children, that their income, because they have several children, they're not able to adequately provide for their children, because by the time their income is split up between 3, 4, 5 different children in different households, each household is going to get peanuts. So there are many ways in which they can be irresponsible in just their thinking, in just their manner. I find men these days are a lot more animated. They talkative. Like some men, they chitter chatter. They're like a chatty patty. They just talk. They're just as high pitched and, just wee, like some women can be, even though not all women are this way. But you find a lot of men who are chatty patties. They're talking. They're gossips. They're not protective. If a woman loses her balance, they'll just stand there and let her fall and even laugh about it, cover their mouth, and and it's weird. And it's not that they're gay. These are just men that they don't have manners anymore. They don't honor women anymore. These things can be a result of maybe how they were treated by their own mothers. And so they just go into this world having a problem with women, trying to use and abuse them. But I'm going to say this, regardless of your past, it's no excuse. What your mother did to you, I didn't do it. She didn't do it. Your boss didn't do it. What your father may have done to you, I didn't do it. He didn't do it. She didn't do it. So this behavior of your past being my problem, no. You got to get yourself together. Your past is not going to be my problem. And that could teach right there. And that just may be a video that come up at some point. Or when you guys can talk about it, I'll watch. But there's no sense of responsibility and accountability. It's easier to walk away from someone than to work it out. Understandably, there are some relationships you have to walk away from it because it's no good, it's toxic, it's bad, you shouldn't have been together in the first place. But more often than not, men are just walking away because, well, I don't have to work on myself. I can go to someone else. There's somebody else who wants to be with me. I can start over here. I have this person that I'm chatting with over here. I can go and get serious with this person and leave you. And when I get tired of them, I may come back to you or go to someone else. So they're unstable. They are very unstable. They're like transient men. Okay. That means they're moving. They are like, the word I'm looking for, they're like nomads. They just move constantly. They pack up and leave. At least when the nomad tribes moved around, there was purpose, there was reason. They moved with their family, they moved with their household, they moved with their tribes. But these people, they'll start all over, just beep, beep, beep. These men are doing this. And something is truly happening with men these days, okay? Not taking accountability, not being responsible. It's easier for them to lie than to tell the truth. It's easier for them to lie than to confess and face responsibility, be accountable, make things right. They'll leave things broken and bent and torn, break hearts, break relationships, break families up. They will do these things, and it has something to do with them internally and really what society says is okay, right? You see a lot of shows where, the man is married and he meets someone else, or he's in a relationship and he meets someone else, and they gel and they vibe, and he leaves his family. He leaves his family, he leaves his girlfriend, and they live happily and they glamorize it. That they left their respective partners or spouses and it worked out, and there was a person that really liked them, that cared about them, but they kept rejecting the good guy, rejected the good girl, and they end up being with a person who's toxic and who's horrible, who gave them a hard time. But in the end, they fall in love and it's all great. You see that a lot among celebrities. They break up their family, they leave their wife and kids, they leave their husband, they cheat on each other, whatever, and then they leave and they break up and said, we were better as friends, we're all still friends, we all get along. They try to paint this picture over that mess. Girl, you left your children, you left your husband, man, you left your wife, you left your children, and now you're trying to say you and the lover and the kids are all cool and we all get along and the kids are okay. You're lying. You're putting all these little frills and colors on poop. You're a cheater. You're a liar. You're a homewrecker. That's what it is. But what happens, that's glamorized, right? We know many celebrities that's done that. It's glamorized, and because they're stars, there's this whole spin-off on it, and everybody, they have to say, oh, we all get along, because they don't want you to dislike them and boycott their movies. And of course, some of them, they've become so wealthy, they don't care what you think. But there are cues. There are things that's there where men don't feel like they have to do right. Some men, they don't feel like they have to be accountable. So they're comfortable living off of your stuff and living in your house and do it and live in your apartment and have you paying their bills and doing little things, or they have their money, they take care of themselves, but they're not going to help you. If you need them to help you with something, they're going to argue with you. You're going to have to show them receipts and everything and an itemized list and a PowerPoint slide of why they should help you. He's going to give you a lot of attitude and sass just so he does not have to help you. If he buys something, you better be careful how quickly you're drinking that drink, that juice, whatever, the bread, because he doesn't want to pay for more. Men are out of position. And the word that comes to mind is entitled. And sometimes women create that, make men feel that way. Some women do that. They're willing to tolerate and take anything. It reminds me of a scripture in the Bible where it says there are about 7 or 10 women to one man. And these women are saying, we already have our own things. We already have our own house. We already have our inheritance. You don't need to worry about taking care of us. Only give us your name. And that's the era that we're in. Women are like, I have my own stuff. I won't give you any trouble. Just be with me. And so women are willing to be with men regardless. They don't care about his character. They would like it to be better, but if they discover that his character is questionable, they're going to override that. They're going to overlook it. They're going to say, we can fix that. It's like buying a car that comes with no warranty and it has that as is in the window, but you're going, oh, I need this man. I'm going to take him and we can work it out. Some women are going through hell. Some people are married but still single because they're married to someone. They want to be with him. That man is still going around doing what he wants to do. He's not coming home. He's still taking phone calls. He's doing all kinds of things. But just so she can say that she's married, she keep the facade up. Could be with a man who he's not quality, has no character, but because you want to say he is your boyfriend, you want to know he's coming home to you, you want to know he's coming over, you want to be able to post pictures of you together, you're going to tolerate this man no matter what. And so men are beginning to realize that no matter what they do, women are still going to hold on to them because they are the high commodity item these days. And women allow that. What else do these type of men do? They are going to talk women out of their values and standards. Let's say you're a woman that, you want to abstain and wait till marriage. He's going to tell you how silly that is. If you want to, you don't want to move in together until you guys are married. He's going to talk you out of that too and tell you how silly that is and give you a different spin on that. Because number one, he's not going to marry you. He does not want to get married to you. He wants to get what's valuable. And he wants to be able to enjoy certain things with you without marriage. Okay? And then when he's living with you and all that, and you bring up marriage again, he's going to say, well, what's the point of getting married? We're already doing it. It's just a piece of paper. Well, the argument will be, if it's just a piece of paper, then what's the big deal? Well, because he realizes, these type of men realize that it's not just a piece of paper. It's a paper that binds you all together. It has great meaning. And most of the times, these men want to be able to just step away and walk away from you and start afresh, start new when they want to. So ladies, we have to take responsibilities for the things that we may have experienced or experience. It's not all them. That man cannot do anything. He can bust your door in and make you live in toxicity. A lot of times women allow it because there's something going on inside of them in areas that they are lacking. And so no matter what, they feel like, I'm just grateful to have you. And they'll push the envelope and keep doing little things. And you allow it, the more you allow it, the more comfortable he gets. So that he realizes, oh, I can go over here and do this. She's not going to do anything. And if she gives me a hard time, I can go over here and I can go over here. Rest assured, when you're with a man, and I've done a video about this before, when a man starts to misbehave and do all kinds of stuff and gets bold with you, you know, at first, if you catch him in things, he's sorry and he appears to regret what he has done. But after doing it so many times and you keep allowing him, he becomes indifferent. And when he gets indifferent and he's laughing and he's going whatever, you need to understand that he has a stable option somewhere else. There's somebody else, a relationship that he's in, or someone that he's seeing, or someone that he is building, getting to know. Everything is going well, and he's in a place where he's confident enough that he can just go. So when he starts to laugh at you and ridicule you and be indifferent, things are going really well over here somewhere. Ladies, it's time to look at yourself. It is time to examine yourselves and find out what is lacking in me. Why am I allowing this? Because it's only when you look at that and you examine that and you're willing to face that maybe scared little girl within you, only then is God going to be able to heal you, restore you, build you back up, and give you the perfect peace that will keep you from being anxious, that will keep you from being desperate, that will keep you from being able, from just please choose me, from being the pick me girl, from being the I'll do anything girl. And when you become that way, these type of men are going to shy away from you. And sometimes that's what women are afraid of. They're afraid of their biological clock, their age. Oh, I'll never get a man like this again. Or so many other things. And so they get afraid and they feel like, oh, well, because I have these standards, there are less men around me. What's happening, you're putting yourself in a position for the men who are rare to find you at the appointed time. Because truly the reason why things drop off is because most men these days are all about flash and no substance. They don't have depth. And there's a lot of other women, a lot of other things. If it's not women, they can get an escort, they can go online, they can be entertained in so many different ways. They don't need to work on themselves. But surely that's going to lead to destruction. That's going to lead to poor choices. That's going to lead to an emptiness. One day they're going to look up and they're old and gray and wrinkled. And then they're going to come trying to cane their way back into your life. You'll be like, oh, Betsy, you remember me? Oh, I'm ready to commit now. I'm ready to commit. No, they got one leg in the grave. They want somebody to bathe them off and help to mash their potatoes. That ain't gonna happen. So one day they'll look up and life has passed them by. One day they'll look up and they no longer look like they used to look anymore. They were handsome, they were athletic, and now they start to pocket out. They start to look different. They're trying to keep up. Now they're trying to keep up with the younger, more good-looking guys. Then they can't. You just can't do that. You can try to get plastic surgery. They can try to get whatever they want to get, anything but plastic surgery, and what's really going on in your DNA and the natural aging process is not going to work. You're going to end up looking like a Picasso painting trying to change and to reverse age. That's why most people that get plastic surgery on their face and all these different things, they end up looking like a Muppet or a Sesame Street character. So sometimes at some point, no matter how much that man is running around and doing whatever he's doing, he's going to get to a place where he's wondering, what am I doing? But maybe they feel like it's too late for them. They've gone too far. They just keep going. But at the end of the day, it leads to loneliness. And people don't understand that even the choices that we make in our lives today, we're going to be held accountable for that. People don't believe that at the end of their life, they're going to stand before God to give an account for the things that they've done. And they don't think that they'll give an account for all the hearts that they broke and all the people that they deceived and all the poor choices that they made. And women will stand before God for our own stuff too. The choices you made in being with this man, the choices you made in breaking the heart of someone who really loved you and cared for you and wanted to be with you so that you can be with this guy, the person you overlooked, you used, abused, just so you can be with this guy. Because sometimes the things that some women can go through, you have to think of whose heart did you break? Someone was interested in you. You blew them off, or you may have cheated on him to be with this guy. So it all comes around full circle. None of us are victims. Choices that women make that enable these type of men who are not stepping up to the plate, who are forever boys, who are forever teens, forever adolescents, forever teens, forever young adult, but they are like 50 and 60 years old. And a lot of it has to do with, as I said before, there is such a desperation for them that they realize, I don't need to work on myself. I don't need to do better. But men have to understand that you're created in the image and the likeness of God. So who you're going to answer to in the end is your creator for the things that you do, the way that you treated other people. You can't say, well, she was fast and she was this. Doesn't matter. She's a soul. So if you don't like somebody and you know you really don't feel for them, you should be responsible enough to be honest about that. You should be in a position to understand that you should not be trying to get stuff from people, because those things, you're planting seeds. You're sowing seeds in your life that's going to spring up in some way, form, or fashion. Things can happen and men can fall on hard luck in their lives or hard times, because there are men out there who are working hard. They went to school, they did what they need to do, but the job market is of such that it was just challenging for them. They're not able to get a job. They have to take jobs that's far below their qualifications, and apartments and houses, that's all a crazy thing. So things can happen to men where they don't have a car, they don't have a place right now. They're kind of going through hard times, but they're ambitious. They can't help the scenario. But these type of men, eventually they will do better and they will thrive and they will succeed. But there's a difference between that type of man and the man who is lazy. He is dependent on women. He does not want to do better. He does not want to thrive. He may have a job, but the job is just enough for him to have pocket money and be able to do things for himself. And then, as I said, they're men. Let me stay with this type of guy here. They're very comfortable living off of, mooching off of, taking advantage of women. This is the type of man that I am discussing. And as I said, another thing, then you'll have those who they are financially well, they're doing good, they have money, but they're selfish, stingy, they're miserly. And so they're going to try to get whatever they can get from you. And you're supposed to be happy because, hey, look, I'm a great guy. I look good. This is the final thing I'll talk about. These men are going to work on two things. They're going to be looking at their look, charisma, their looks, their charm, and their sex. That's the two ways that they can entrap a lot of women. They're going to make sure that they can pleasure a woman beyond her imagination, because good sex, can often lead to poor judgment. A woman will hold on to a man because of how he makes her feel sexually, especially if he's extraordinary in this area. And that's how he hooks a woman. Another way, again, his looks, being attractive. Some women may know a guy has very little character, but because he's so good looking and because other women may want him, they're willing to just hold on to him no matter what. No matter what. They can't imagine another woman being able to enjoy his body and all this stuff. So because of that, and soul ties can cause you to make poor decisions. It is not your job as a woman to be trying to school a man, to tell him how to be, packing his lunch, doing all this stuff, giving him, and I don't mean that you can't do for a man, but I'm just talking about this type of man who's very childish and you're telling him how he should behave and what's right and what's wrong, because he is a man of the core. He knows what's right and he knows what's wrong. That's why most of the things he will do secretly and behind your back, because he already knows that what he's doing is not right. You can't teach him how to be a man. That is not good, because what happens if you continue to you're harping and you're constantly talking to him and nagging him, you're going to turn into his mom, and he's going to find you unattractive, and after a while you're just going to look so ugly to him talking again. He's just going to notice everything that's wrong with you, because that's what's going to happen. And you're not meant to cast your pearls before swine. You're not meant to have your beauty smeared by somebody. You're not meant to have who you're supposed to be in the Lord and as an individual trodden underfoot by someone who does not value you. You have to understand, this man already knows what's right and what's wrong, but he has made a decision in his life to do and to live however he wants to, because there are plenty of women that's going to entertain him, open doors to him, let them in their bedroom, all these things, and he does not value you enough to change. So all you have control of is yourself. Change yourself. Face the reality of who this man is. Face the reality of what he is showing you versus what he is telling you. And again, identify what is lacking in you that's making you do this. And when you do that and you face those things and you're ready to move forward and make the change, and even separating yourself. You may think, oh, I'll cry, I'll be sad breaking up with him, but aren't you crying and sad anyway? So why not cry and be sad as you grow and move forward in the Lord and in yourself, okay? And in maturity, knowing that eventually you'll no longer be crying, you'll be healed. Each and every one of us is responsible for our own actions. We have no control over anyone else but ourselves. So you have to see what's in front of you. See this type of man for what he is. Watch his fruit, what he shows you. Because no matter how much he tries to pretend to be something that he's not, who he is at the core is going to come out. It's going to come out. And when it comes out, he's going to be paying close attention to what you do and what you're willing to do and what you're willing to tolerate. And that is going to give him his cue as to how he should treat you and will continue to treat you and eventually devalue you. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening to my channel. I hope this has blessed you. Talk to you soon. Bye.